Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Lal-ain and welcome to Lal-ain's Diary. So today we have a special episode because today's episode name is Epic Story of Brent Ellman, who is joining us today in our show as a guest to share his epic story. So let's invite him and have a wonderful conversation with him. Okay? Hello. Can you hear me? I guess there is a little bit of problem. Can you hear me?
Hey, sorry, yeah, I was just having some connectivity. I can hear you now.
It's
Sorry, it was
okay.
kind of cutting in and out. Sorry about that.
It's
Can you hear me?
okay. Yes, I can hear you
Can you hear me?
properly.
Oh,
Yes,
all
I
right,
can
great.
hear you. Okay. So then let's start our conversation by first asking you
Great.
about your
Yeah, it's
student
snowing here,
life.
so my internet's a little iffy. Perfect. So how's it going?
Okay, it's going really great over here. And I hope that at your side is also great. Oh, it's a connectivity problem. Because he lives a little bit far away, so that's why there's some connectivity problem. I'm sure he'll join again. Okay, I'm really excited about today's episode and okay, he's back.
Oh, do you keep
Hey,
losing me?
you're
Sorry
back.
about that.
It's okay. These things happen sometimes.
Sorry if I'm having some issues.
It's okay. So, now you're ready all set?
Perfect. I'm all ready.
Okay. Yeah. So then why don't you start first by telling us something about yourself like your introduction?
Sure. Yeah. I live here in Colorado. I'm from New York originally. I moved out here in 2008 to study at the University of Denver. I was studying marketing there as well as some Chinese, and then ended up transferring to a different school to study music business. And for a while, I worked with music. We were booking concerts and music festivals here in the United States across the country. But I did that for some years, and then one thing led to another. I worked a variety of jobs. I ended up opening up a restaurant for a little bit inside of a music venue. So I was booking concerts there while serving food. But currently, my position is the director of marketing for TAFTS. TAFTS stands for the Transdisciplinary Agora for Future Discussions, and the organization are founders from Africa, but the president and CEO is here in Colorado. And like I said, I'm the director of marketing there.
Okay, that's great. So, let's start knowing about your childhood. So, if you could also tell us that what kind of kid were you in school?
Sure. I was kind of rambunctious. I was kind of a wild child a little bit. I got
Oh,
here, when I was young, I'd get in trouble a little bit, and I was a handful. I'd say that. But eventually, when I got a little bit older, I kind of chilled out a little bit. But when I was a kid, I was definitely a handful.
I can say maybe adventurous, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
adventure.
what. Okay, adventurous. And which subject you liked and disliked as a student?
I think the subjects that I really enjoyed sometimes I liked history. It depended on what I was learning. If I was learning history about things that I appreciate, then I really liked that. I remember I really didn't like English. I thought
You
that,
didn't like it.
yeah, English. There's just lots of like rules that contradict one another, and it was just like I was good at math. Math made sense because it was just kind of it just made sense to me. But English, the rules, just because they counter each other, it didn't make as much sense.
That's the total opposite that I'm hearing right now because most of the students don't really like math. It's
Yeah,
surprising that you like that.
that's
That's
funny.
very surprising. Okay, and yeah, when did you first started your career?
um I mean, as an entrepreneur, I was always kind of entrepreneurial minded. You know, when I was young, I used to sell lemonade. I'd have lemonade stands and sell little treats on the side of the street. And that wasn't my career, of course, but that was when I first started with doing entrepreneurial tasks and things like that. When I think I was 19 when we founded Live Red. I might have been 20. I think it was 19. Um, we founded a
Okay, what's
company
too
called
young? What age was you? Okay,
yeah. I think I was
which age
19,
was
18 years old when I started promoting music. But yeah,
you? Wow, that's really surprising. So at 19, you started your career
yeah,
as an entrepreneur. Wow, that's really surprising.
yeah. As well, I started my career in the music industry.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was. I started early on, and it wasn't too. I didn't start with anything too crazy. I knew that I wanted to work with live music. Going to concerts, it was just such a special, magical experience for me that I wanted to help other people have their own kind of magical, special experiences. And so, when I was 18 years old, I started promoting a concert every week. We had an event in this bar every Thursday night. It was a Grateful Dead night. That's a band here from the United States, the Grateful Dead. And so we had a cover band that would play the music from the Grateful Dead every Thursday. And that was when I first started promoting. But then, like I said, when I was about 19, I started up another company with some friends I went to college with, and we started putting on a little bit larger events than what that was, and worked our way up to some large festivals. So
So you're saying that you played in a band. You held music
Um,
concerts.
yeah, I wasn't really, when I was a kid, I was in like the school band, but I was more on like the business, like promotion and event production side of
Ooh,
things. I wasn't on the performance end.
that's pretty amazing.
Thanks.
And yeah, so I would also like to know that what mistakes did you face when you first started your career as an entrepreneur, and how did you learn from your mistakes?
Sure. I definitely made a number of mistakes. It definitely one of the big mistakes that I made when I was 22, I think, when I was 22 years old, I had a restaurant, like I mentioned earlier, and the restaurant was inside of a music venue. And so I had a sublease and I had partners and in this restaurant. And the big mistake that I made, first off, was I didn't really do some of my homework with some of these partners that I was working with. I ended up getting taken advantage of by this guy that I had a sublease from. And so that was one of my biggest mistakes, was just being too trusting and expecting people to kind of have the same types of agendas that I do, but instead they were looking to take advantage of me. And so that was a big mistake that I ran into. I ran into that mistake a number of times, just kind of expecting people to be good hearted and finding out that they weren't and that they were not well intended. And that's definitely an issue that I ran into a few times.
That's a little sad to hear that you did this mistake just because you trusted people, thought they were good-hearted.
It's a
Yeah,
learning
that's a
lesson.
little.
I mean, that's just kind of how the world works sometimes, though. And it's I think that the road to success is littered with failure. So it's just how it is. I don't, I can't, I never let it get me down. It was disappointing, but I just viewed it as a learning lesson. I didn't view it as the world out to get me or anything like that. It wasn't that I looked at it as, oh, all people are terrible. It was just a bad situation.
That's great that you learned from your mistakes. That's a great lesson for me, and I hope that the viewers learn it too. Okay, so as you're also a marketing director, could you tell me that what it's really like being director of marketing? Like what it's really like?
Yeah, sure. For Taps, this position, the director of marketing that I have, it's been really interesting. We do a number of things marketing related, but I mean the big part of it is for me as the director is people. It's managing these people and kind of organizing all these ideas. We'll have right now things are kind of on pause, but we've been having weekly meetings. And our meetings, the people that are on the marketing team, we've got people in Australia, we've got people in the United States, we've got people in Africa, we've got people in Pakistan, we've got people from all over the world on our marketing team. And so it's been kind of interesting, kind of working with all these different people to kind of get our plans forward. We just recently released a magazine, the Taps Magazine of the Future, and so we were unrolling all of our marketing plans for that. A lot of it was related to social media. Right now the organization doesn't have a tremendous amount of money, so we're not really advertising with some major networks or anything like that. But shows like this, getting just the word out there, organizing things like this, there's a variety of things. Working with partner organizations, trying to share our audiences and things like that. There's really a number of things. And then right now, I do a number of things that are not marketing related, but that are dealing with the kind of the executive stuff. And we're just trying to build this company out to be profitable and successful, and to be something that can really help lots of people. And so, there's really lots of different tasks that I do every day is kind of different, which I really enjoy.
Okay, that's good to hear that you enjoy it too. So it could be named as enjoyable a little bit. Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
And tell me what is your favorite part of this? Tell me what is your favorite part of marketing? What is your favorite part of marketing?
My favorite part of marketing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, with music, for me, with live music, I've had these experiences. Do you know what synchronicities are? Yeah. So lots of like weird, just synchronistic experiences. No. So a synchronicity is it's like a coincidence, and it's like a coincidence that's so coincidental and so freaky that you're like, it makes you question reality. It's like when you start thinking about somebody and then all of a sudden your phone rings and they're calling you and you're like, whoa, it seemed like they knew that I was thinking. It's like synchronous. You're in synchronicity with and so live music, for some reason, for me, when I was going to these concerts, I kept finding myself experiencing synchronicities a lot, and it would happen more than it normally would, and it drew me to that environment, and it was magical to me. And so for me, the reason that I was promoting and putting these events on and marketing these events was because I wanted to help people find that type of meaning in their own life, help them have these types of magical experiences. And so I was really just trying to get um, this product, which was a concert ticket at that moment in time, into the right hands. I really like to just help people access and achieve what they're trying to achieve. And so that's the big reason why I like it.
Okay. And we've got a question from the comments for you. So the viewers are also asking question. So is it a difficult job or a different job as a director of marketing? Would you like to answer it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are some tasks that are difficult here and there. As the director of marketing, I think that one of my biggest roles is to work with people, and that are geared towards this marketing aspects of our company. Like I said, we've got this big eclectic marketing team, and so sometimes it is difficult to just, especially when there's these cultural differences and stuff, to figure out how to communicate especially when there's these time differences and things like that. And there's always stuff that you oversee. And as the director of marketing, it kind of I feel guilty. I feel like it falls on me when there's things that aren't perfect. So there's definitely some difficulties, but I enjoy it. As the director of marketing for Tafts, though, it's definitely a different job than most, because a lot of what we do is digital, and most of us are working in all these different places around the world, and we're just it's just a lot of different entrepreneurs that are trying to kind of work together on the same type of projects to help achieve mutual goals. And so it's been different, and definitely has its difficult aspects, but it's been enjoyable, and I enjoy it.
That's a wonderful answer. Okay, now I've got another question.
Sure.
So explain to me that, yeah, how do you handle team members who have different opinions about the direction of a campaign?
Um, I mean, right now it's there hasn't really been too much of like right now recently there was one issue that we had that I won't go into major specifics, but we there was a disagreement that we had, and at the end of the day it was kind of we went about it in a democratic manner. Someone had an idea, someone else had a different idea that opposed that idea. We presented this idea to somebody else, and initially the idea that I sided with, the person who we then presented it to, they disagreed with me, and I was like, all right, well, you guys think that, then I'll agree with what you're saying, because there's more of you than there are of us. And so we definitely went about things in a kind of a democratic way. It wasn't really like you're just we were it wasn't very authoritarian or dictatorial at all. It was definitely democratic.
Okay, so that's how you handle it. That's a pretty amazing way to handle it, I can say. Okay, and you are a experienced entrepreneur, right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I cut out for a second, but I can hear you.
Okay, great that you can hear me. So I was saying that as you are a experienced entrepreneur, so can you tell us, in your opinion, that what are some common mistakes young or new entrepreneur makes?
Sure. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making, and that I used to make a lot, and I try to work on nowadays, is talking about my plans and talking about my goals. Because, as an entrepreneur, I'll have an idea that I want to act on. And I think that most entrepreneurs get very excited about their ideas and their goals and their ambitions. And what I've learned and read a lot about is the fact that when you have an idea that you're excited about and a goal that you want to accomplish, if you talk to someone about this goal, it gives you this sense of accomplishment, and it makes you feel like you've already accomplished something because you're sharing your idea with someone. And so if I have a goal and then I want to tell my parents or want to tell my best friend, oh, this is what I want to do, it slows me down, because there's this level of gratification that I'm receiving just by talking about it, and it makes me less motivated to actually do it. And so something that I've worked on a lot is, instead of talking about my goals, to just do it and then talk about it after it's been completed. And I think that that's one of the best things that someone could have told me when I was younger.
Okay, that's fantastic. And what suggestion would you give to other people who also wants to be an entrepreneur? What type of suggestion would you give to them?
Yeah, I suggest that they go for it, and to just embrace the challenges as they come. Like I said before, the road to success is littered with failures. So to view a failure as a definitive failure without realizing that it's just a stepping stone towards the next thing is important to avoid. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I would say, is just to encourage whoever's thinking about attempting any projects to just go out and do it, because there's you'll the worst case scenario, you go for it and you learn a lot, and you'll be more equipped on your next project, whatever it is.
Okay, thanks for your answer. So, all of these questions that I've asked were professional, okay? And now let's come to my favorite part of the interview, which is interesting questions. So, are you ready for that?
Sure.
Okay, then. So, let's start with number one. Okay, tell me, would you rather be in a real life version of The Walking Dead or a real life version of Game of Thrones?
Hmm. Um, that's a tough one. Probably Game of Thrones. Zombies seem kind of intense. Um, but I mean, yeah, probably Game of Thrones. Depends on who I was.
That's a good choice. And what mythical creature do you wish actually existed?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, hmm, hmm. Sphinxes would be pretty cool. I'd go check those out at the zoo for sure. That'd be pretty neat. A
Okay,
sphinx, probably.
okay. And what artist or band do you always recommend when someone asks for a music recommendation?
I generally a Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead is my go-to typically. Grateful Dead, Fish, and Widespread
Grateful,
Panic are the three bands that I recommend. But the Grateful Dead, definitely.
the Grateful Dead. Is it correct? The Grateful Dead,
Yep, exactly.
right?
And yeah, it's about the idea that the Grateful Dead they took their name from this idea of the Grateful Dead is the idea that if someone dies when they were trying to accomplish a goal and accomplish a task, and then somebody else accomplishes the task for them, and they're thus the Grateful Dead. And so it's interesting because the Grateful Dead, for instance, one example is that the keyboardists in the Grateful Dead, they've just about all of them have died, and also their lead guitarist has died, but they've got these different replacements, and I keep going, and so it's interesting. It's the Grateful Dead.
I'll sure check it out. It seems interesting. And
Nice.
what languages do you wish you could speak fluently?
I'd love to speak Chinese. I was trying to learn Chinese years ago, but it,
Oh,
it was so difficult. I loved China. I lived in China before I moved to Colorado. I lived in Beijing for a couple months during the Olympics. I was working there for a ticketing company, and I wanted to learn Chinese and go back, but it is a difficult language.
so are you learning Chinese right now or not? You just gave up that it's just too difficult to learn?
Yeah, I have not. I stopped learning it for a while because I was at that Denver University, and then I decided that I wanted to pursue music business, and so I went to a different school, and I stopped studying Chinese and just started studying music business.
Oh, okay. Well, I love Korean. It's a little bit similar to Chinese, but I guess it's a lot bit different.
Nice. Are you pretty
Okay,
fluent in Korean?
yeah, Korean. No, I'm just learning it. Like, I'm a beginner at Korean. I'm a
Nice,
beginner.
nice.
And by my experience, Korean and Chinese can be a little bit difficult. I agree with you that they are pretty difficult to learn when you're a beginner.
Yeah, definitely. It's tough to use those symbols, read the symbols.
Yeah, they're actually like different types of symbols, and it's really hard to remember all of them.
Mm,
So, what movie or book do you wish, or no? It was what movie or book do you know the most quotes from?
How do I know the most quotes from? That's a tough one. Um, I think that maybe the movie Step Brothers is one that I know a lot of quotes from for sure. Step Brothers with
Aha,
that's a pretty funny movie.
wonderful. Okay, so we've got another one interesting question from the comment section. Let me bring that up. Share your experience of China tour. Well, I can add that to interesting question section as well. Would you like to please share?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I was in China in 2008 for the Olympics. I worked for a company called Sports World, and Sports World's they're based in the UK in England, and Sports World, if you lived in one of 19 different countries, England, I think Spain, I want to say Ethiopia. I forget all the list of them, but there was 19 different countries, and if you lived in one of those countries and you wanted to go to the Olympics and you wanted to buy tickets for an event for the Olympics, then you bought them from our company. And so my company, they flew me out there, and I worked with this team. And there was about 5 or 6 of us, and we worked in this room, and we worked in this building where you'd need a key card to get into the elevator, and then you'd get on this floor, and then when you're on the floor you'd need a key card to get into this room, and then once you were in that room there was this door that was locked, and when you unlocked that door there was this giant big metal safe door, and you'd unlock that metal safe door and you'd go inside of that room. And at the end of that room was another locked door with another giant safe door. And inside of that were all these giant safes, these fireproof safes. And every single Olympic ticket for every event for 19 countries worth of people were in these safes. And so me and this group of 5 or 6 people, we organized every ticket by seat. If you were in row A, seat 5, section 107, we would find that seat and we would put it in your envelope, and then we double checked them all, and then we triple checked them all, and then we gave them out to the buyers. They would come, they'd show us their identification, we'd show them their tickets, they'd make sure everything was there, and they'd go off. And I mean, I had a really incredible experience there. I got to see some cool stuff: the Forbidden City, the Great Wall of China. I got to hang out with a bunch of athletes. I got to party with Michael Phelps. We were hanging out in the club in the VIP room all night one night. It was a lot of fun. It was after he already won all of his medals and stuff. And then there was like this club that I was going to a lot there, and I got to know some of the people there, and we hung out and we had a lot of fun.
Your voice is like frozen in the middle. Okay,
Pyramid,
it's
a
okay.
really incredible time. One of my best friends was there with me as well. Great.
Your voice, it was like stopped in the middle. Like
You there?
when you were telling,
Can you
yeah,
hear me?
your voice. Yeah, now I can hear you. But again, you're frozen.
Oh, what was the last thing I was saying?
Okay, now I can hear you and see you as well. Yeah, now that is great. Hey,
Uh-oh.
yeah, you were in the middle
Can
of
you hear me?
your
Is it better?
experience. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you totally better and see you as well. You were actually in the middle of your experience tour of China when your voice just stopped. I guess it stopped again. Hmm, it's okay, it does happen. Can you not hear me? There must be a connectivity issue. If you can hear me, your picture and voice both are like frozen, and I probably cannot hear you. Okay, he will join us after a very short time. We can just wait a little bit while. Like, yeah, we can wait. This happened several times, but it's okay. It does happen. It's okay. And I've got a long list of interesting questions, so we'll keep on going with the conversation. So let's just wait a little bit while more while the guest joins again. Yeah, he was literally in the middle of his tour, experience tour. And, um, hmm, okay. Let's wait a little more. I hope that you all are enjoying it. Yep, the guest is here.
All right, here. I'm on my phone now. This might be easier.
Okay, yeah, it's much more clearer. The screen is much more clearer now, and your
Perfect.
voice as well.
Great.
Okay,
Sounds good. So where was when I was talking about the China experience? Where did I cut off?
you were cut off. You were telling about that you really like to hang out at with your friends at a place you told the name of a place that you really liked hanging out in China with some of your friends.
Hmm. Yeah, I would go to. It was called China Doll. It was this club in
Ah,
the Sanlituar section of Beijing. Sanlituar or Sanlituan is this area of Beijing where there's lots of bars and clubs and things like that. And so I would go there. Like I said, I like music industry and things like that. And so I just kind of was able to connect with the people that worked there, and they would let me kind of go in the VIP room and things like that. And so I got to, you know, celebrate victories with Michael Phelps and Chris Tucker's birthday and things like that. And I think that I was saying one of my best friends, he actually got me the job. My friend David Haas, and he and I lived there together. It was a great time.
case, our tour to Savannah was really a great time. It
Definitely.
is wonderful. Okay, let's move on back to our conversation. So, the next question that I was gonna ask you from my list was, what's your haunted house story?
The haunted house story.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I mean, like a haunted house in general, or like a ghost story type thing, like something that happened to me.
Mm, whether you like it, you can tell it into any subject you like. I'll listen. Okay.
Sure. I mean, one thing that I've seen that's really weird is it happened to me. It's happened to me a few times where I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden there's something on the wall, and it like flies off the wall. And I've seen that happen a few times. It's very weird. Where it's like, what was that? Like, was there something like a ghost in the room or something? And I've seen that a number of times. And that's always weird to see. I don't know. It's really weird.
Oh, like
I don't know if
trouble is
that's what you were
in the
asking.
house.
I mean, I've gone to haunted houses before, but that was like, is my house haunted? you know?
So you've experienced the whole haunted house story of yours in real life?
Yeah, a couple times. One of my
Wow.
friends, one of the
Yeah.
wildest stories that I've ever heard about this type of experience. Friends, he's an old coworker. We used to work and run some bar together, but he told me that he was in an elevator, and like I think that it was his cousin had just recently passed away, and he gets in his elevator for his building, and he looks on the ground, and there was a letter, and it was addressed to his cousin's name, but it was for like a apartment in the building that he lived in, and it like freaked him out because his cousin had just died, and so he picked up the letter and he went to that apartment, and he said that the door was like cracked open and nobody lived there. He like walked in and it was just like an empty apartment that no one lived in, and he was like very weirded out by it. But so then this is where it gets really weird. Then he took this envelope and he went back into his apartment, and he had this glass table in his living room, and he put the envelope on this glass table in his living room, and then he left his house. And then when he comes back home, the glass table exploded into like a million pieces. His whole apartment was covered with glass, like little tiny pieces of glass everywhere. And that envelope was like under, like where the table was, like under. It was like, it was very strange. I don't know. Really weird story.
To me, it's pretty scary. It's
Yeah, right.
scary,
It's a
like
weird one.
how the table just exploded by itself.
Yeah, right.
Wow,
It wasn't like someone went in there or anything like that. It's just yeah, very weird.
pretty mysterious, I'll say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and what's the best lesson you've learned from a work of fiction?
Oh, sorry about that. My dogs are. Hold on.
It's
Hold on one
so you
second.
have time.
Someone rang the doorbell. I'm just gonna calm my dogs down.
Yeah, it's great to have pets at your home. It's really great. This interview is getting more and more interesting.
All right, sorry about that. What were you saying?
Hey,
What was the question?
yeah, I'll go on with the question. But first, I want to know that you have a dog pet.
Mm-hmm. Come here, Milo. I'll show you. Come here. Come here, Milo. I live with two dogs, but right now there's three dogs. Ooh, here. That's
The
Sierra.
phone fell.
That's Mishka, and
Wow.
that one's my dog. This is Milo. Milo, sit, sit, sit. There's Milo. He's a good dog.
Oh, Milo.
It was actually his birthday this week.
Wow, that's pretty fantastic. Thank you for letting me with your dog. That's really great. Okay, shall we move back to our conversation?
Sure.
Okay, so I was asking that what's the best lesson you've learned from a work of fiction?
From what? From what?
From work of fiction.
From fiction?
Yeah, fiction.
Um. Hmm. I think that maybe the best lesson I've learned is that anything's possible. I think that a lot of um, like fiction kind of implies that. I think I've had experiences in my life that are very very weird, and interesting, and that are almost surreal. And I think that fiction makes helps people um, question their reality a little bit. Like Game of Thrones. They can start thinking about fairies and things like that. And I think that it's really good to have that type of creativity. I think it's really important, and just to be open minded to the possibilities that life has to offer.
I'd still say that it's pretty unique. Okay,
Here, I'm gonna let the dogs outside. Dogs outside, outside, go, 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 go. There they go.
having dogs is a really big responsibility too, I'll say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me that if you have to sing any kind of song, any kind of, what song would you really pick to sing?
Um, Either a Grateful Dead song or a Widespread Panic song. I think there's a lot of songs by Widespread Panic that I like to sing along to, and the Grateful Dead as well. I'd have trouble just finding one specific song. I like the song Jack by Widespread Panic, and they sing about um, a dog lying in the corner, um, of dog lying in the corner of the archway. One good dog twitching, filled with good old dog dreams. And I love that line. It's just a good song. It just feels good.
If you really want to sing it, you can sing it too.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying the lyrics. I'm not really a singer, but I'll get in my groove. If I'm driving around alone, I definitely sing a lot to myself.
That's pretty common. Yeah, that's relatable too. Okay, and what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given by someone?
Hmm. My dad gives a lot of great advice. Um, I think that one thing that he's told me that I've repeated many times is, if you're not wasting time, you're not making money. Because, I think that a lot of times people get caught up in ways to make money with, their ideas and things like that. But sometimes it's just about the process. And, you learn some, and then later down the line, it's applicable. And I think that there's just a lot of um, applications to that phrase. And it's just what immediately comes to mind.
Okay, so tell me that would you rather be a superhero or the world's best chef?
Ooh, that's tough. I really like to cook, but I feel like I'd rather be a superhero because that'd be pretty cool too. I think that if I was a superhero, I'd probably figure out a way to afford eating at restaurants that I like and things like that.
So you're taking a win-win situation.
I'm taking what?
You're taking a win-win situation. Like if you would be a superhero and you would save your town, and people, as a thanks to you, will let you eat free at their restaurant. That's
Yeah,
a win-win
absolutely,
situation.
definitely. And I feel like if you're a superhero,
Yeah,
you're bound to have some kind of talents that you can use in some sort of way. But I mean, if I was a superhero and I was saving people, I wouldn't be charging them money or asking for food or anything like that. But I think that if I had
as
superpowers,
a
I'd be able
thanks,
to. What was that?
as a thanks, as a thanks, they would probably invite you to their restaurant for
Yeah,
free.
sure.
As a
Yeah,
thanks,
definitely.
because yeah,
That's fair.
okay. And if you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would you choose and why?
Ooh, if I could hang out with any cartoon character, um, I really like the show Futurama. I think that, or actually, you know what? I take that back. Maybe Rick and Morty. I think Rick. I think it'd be pretty cool. He's got lots of cool technologies and gadgets and things like that. It'd be kind of cool to travel around in outer space and go to different dimensions and stuff. That'd probably
You
be.
mean Rick and Morty, that's the cartoon. It's the Disney cartoon that comes on Nickelodeon, right?
It's on Adult Swim and Cartoon Network. It's I think that they have it on Fox now, maybe, but it's a cartoon. It's about this grandfather and his grandson, and the grandfather is this scientist, and he's like a really wacky guy, and he's got like like little shrink ray beams that he can like he turns himself into a pickle in one episode, and it's just a weird
Really?
show. Yeah, he's just like this crazy mad scientist guy that does like really goofy stuff. It's a good show.
Oh, that show. Now I
Yeah,
remember it. Rick and Morty.
yeah,
I think I've seen it. Yeah, I've
nice.
seen it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good show.
Okay, so at the last, I will have. Um, I have four rules actually, but I think I should shortlist it.
Say it
Let's
one more
make
time.
it. Yeah, I was saying that in the last, I have three riddles for you,
Okay.
and trust me, they're not easy. They're not easy.
Uh-oh.
Okay, tell me that how can a girl go 25 days without sleep?
Hmm. Um, I'm not sure.
You're not sure, so you gave up. You gave up,
Yeah, I
right?
might have to give up. Yeah, what's the answer?
She sleeps at night.
Oh, all right.
It may be a silly riddle, but I
Yeah,
really like this riddle a lot.
yeah, that's a good
Okay,
one.
how do mathematicians scold their children?
Um, hmm. I don't know. How? I give up.
If I've told you n times, I've told you n plus 1 times. That's how she would scold her children.
All right, that makes sense.
I chose this rule because as you told that you love maths, so I thought that
Yeah,
let's go with this one.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
how can you lift an elephant with one hand?
The same way you lift an elephant with two hands. I guess elephants don't
Again,
have
listen
hands.
to me carefully. How can you lift an elephant with one hand?
Um, with a forklift, with one of those. What are they called? A crane. You only need one hand, right? What's the answer?
Okay, the answer is the lifting part is nevertheless easy. The problem is to find an elephant with one hand.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what I thought. I was like the same way that you'd lift an elephant with two hands.
If you thought that great, your answer was correct. Okay, I'm out of questions. I'm out of questions. I really got no questions. So, if you have any questions to ask me,
Sure. What did you learn from this conversation? What was the biggest thing that you liked that you took away from this?
what the biggest thing I learned from this session today was that you are a pretty humble person and you're really kind. I remember when the last time we made schedule, you were a little bit busy and then your ID just kind of like lost. And I really wanted to invite you on my show, but then somehow out of nowhere, your ID again came back, and then you told me, "Hey, it's Brent Ellman. Can I come to your show again?" And that's when I invited you back, and I'm really happy that you joined me as a guest in my show.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
we can call it patience and kindness. So
Nice.
thanks again for coming to my show.
Yeah, thanks for
It
having me.
was really amazing. Would you like to
Definitely.
add something in it before going?
What do you want to do when you get older?
What do I want to do when I get older?
What kind of career would
Uh,
you like?
Actually, I think that I'm just a teenager and I don't really know what I should be in the future. It's kind of like a tough problem because there are many things that I want to try. I want to be a scientist, I want to be an artist, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be like many things. But for now, my mission is just to help people around me as much as I
Nice.
can.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was young. Um, have you? There's a word. There's a term called polymath, and polymaths are
Poly.
people who specialize in a variety of things. People, there's people who are specialized in one thing, and then polymaths are people that are good at lots of different things. People that are scientists, but they're also artists, and they're also this and that. So maybe you should look into some of that polymath stuff, because if you want to do lots of different things, that's the lifestyle where people are doing lots of different things.
I'll sure check it out. So before going, would you like to say to our viewers any advice or any message?
Sure, yeah. If anyone that's watching is thinking about taking on any kind of tasks, entrepreneurial goals, anything like that, I highly recommend just going for it, and just trust falling into the universe, and seeing what happens. The worst case scenario, you learn a lot. And I just highly encourage everybody to go after their dreams. It's not about succeeding, it's about the journey. Sometimes it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Okay, that's really a great message. Thanks again for joining. It was really fun talking with you. I literally have fun every single time and it was also really nice to meet your dogs too. Thank you.
It's great to talk to you too. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks again
Have a
for
great
joining
day.
and I hope that you join again. Bye.
Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.
Thanks again, viewers, for watching, and I hope that you learned from this session because there were many things that we talked about. So, thanks again for watching, and for all the people commenting down your opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. We'll meet you in the next session, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.